Fuck it. Let's go live. Shit. Not my cleanest opening. Huge misclick. Oh well. It happens, right, guys? Cheers. Sponsored by Yerba Mate today, guys. You know what that means. High gear. Nas. Kumar in the house. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He must be checking in from the headquarters of our national airlines. Air Canada. Manoj in the house. Dex is marketing in the house. Amir Omar in the house. Crypto Plus. Thousands of you out there. You know what sucks is that I couldn't change the scene without letting the music play. And that makes sense, but can I fix that? Because that would be really cool. I was really disappointed that when I change the scene, it resets. So what I need to do is figure that out. I need to figure that out. Oh yeah, news updates. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. We got some big updates this week. Let them roll into the chat. Let them get going for Infinite Ascension. God, it's so hard to produce a show by yourself. A lot of things to know, a lot of things to remember, but that's what makes it fun, I guess. Shall we take a crack at this week's news? Put some ones in the chat if you're fired up today. Tuesday morning, September 12th. Drinking that NOS. All right. Let's make it official. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Ascension Live. I am your host, Rich UX. On our agenda, we're discussing OpenAI, Meta, Reels, TikTok, Microsoft, and much more. Let's dive into today's hottest topics. This guy, Sam Altman, under fire, CEO of OpenAI, our favorite tool, ChatGPT, facing criticism. My goodness. Not because of ChatGPT, though. WorldCoin. Sam had to dip his toes into crypto. WorldCoin, co-founded by Altman, uses devices called orbs to scan the irises of willing participants. These scans generate an encrypted, anonymized proof of personhood that can then be verified using the WorldCoin blockchain via the World ID app. What is going on here? WorldCoin raising eyebrows primarily because they targeted impoverished individuals in third world countries, promising them free WorldCoin cryptocurrency in exchange for an iris scan. No. Critics argue this is unnecessary because the facial recognition technology in most smartphones would do plenty. Despite the backlash, WorldCoin pushing forward, boasting significant increase in users since its launch. Will it be visiting your country? Have you seen it? I guess if you ever want to feel like a James Bond character and scan your iris while checking your crypto balance, now's your chance. But when the ATM starts playing the Bond theme, maybe it's time to switch back to paper money. Meta, back in the news as always, parent company of Facebook and Instagram, developing a new AI that will rival OpenAI's GPT-4. The new AI model by Meta, expected to be several times more powerful than its current Llama 2. Imagine this. 2 elite AIs in a high-stakes showdown. Like a reality TV show we've never seen before or knew we needed. Who wants to be a trillionaire? Now, here's a headline for you. Thirsty AI, Microsoft majorly disrupted U.S. cities' water supplies. I guess Clippy came back and was just really, really thirsty. All jokes aside, these tech giants are causing a water crisis. ChatGPT is reported to use half a liter of water for every 5 prompts it receives. Half a liter. So 1 liter for 10 prompts. I don't know why they couldn't just make it easy. Every 10 prompts, a liter of water is used. Interesting. This happened in central Iowa. They needed the water to cool down the supercomputers. A 34% surge in the company's global water consumption from 2021 to 2022. Nearly 1.7 billion gallons. This is all attributed largely to AI research and these tools. Most people not aware of this. Some people say it's not from that. They say Microsoft is working on a new project called Wet Windows. It's where Cortana gets a little wild, and instead of assisting you, she splashes virtual water all over your screen. And if you think the blue screen of death was a mess, wait till you see the wet screen of oops, we did it again. In other news, the app known for making us all feel either too old or too uncoordinated is spending a whopping $1.3 billion to dodge bans and fines. Haven't seen that much money thrown around since the last time I checked the price of an iPhone. TikTok investing $1.3 billion to establish new data centers in Europe, facing increased scrutiny over data handling practices, especially in relation with ties to China. TikTok has announced the opening of a European Transparency Center. The facility will allow regulators to learn more about the workings of the app. Lastly, Instagram Reels, now experimenting with 10-minute long videos. Because if there's one thing we all thought while scrolling through 15-second dance clips, it's, man, I wish this was 40 times longer. Instagram testing 10-minute video reels, sparking debate on future of social media content. What would a 10-minute reel, how would it impact the video industry? Would Instagram become direct competition to YouTube and longer form content? Meanwhile, YouTube going the other way into shorts. Shorts themselves also putting YouTube and their primary business model slightly at risk. That's it for your weekly updates. How are we doing in the chat? 11,000 viewers. Excuse me. Shout out to my sponsor of the day, Yerba Mate. Don't normally crack the Yerba Mates 9 a.m., but it's not easy to do what we do over here. We need a lot of energy. High energy. Good to see you all in here. Abhishek Joshi, welcome to the call. The Mark Rush, welcome. Welcome. Welcome everyone. Come one, come all. I've just completed the weekly updates. If you missed it, my attempt at a small portion of satire along with some actual news. What else we want to talk about today? iPhone 15 launching today at 10 a.m. The live stream goes off. Big announcement. AirPods with a USB-C connector. Everything you ever wanted and dreamed of. And a whole new pink iPhone. I think that's what we're going to expect to see today. Nothing special, no new major changes. Just like the last 5 models. Is there any innovation left at Apple? Will Vision OS save them? What are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? Got the side cam rocking. Got the poker chips. This is where we operate the studio from. A couple Starbucks cups in the BG. We got the big light. We got the ring. I've enjoyed getting back into the studio, to be honest. Just a lot more relaxing. Just having kind of a setup. Okay, well, that was the news. What about learning something? What about learning something? What about learning something? What about learning something good? Why not? We live to learn. Okay. I've been doing some incredible stuff this week. Stuff you wouldn't even believe. AI, automation, so intense, so outstanding. What's your preference in Sheet GPT? They say it's good in making content. Can't comment. Never seen it. I'm stuck on Chat GPT myself. I'm a big believer that ChatGPT is so good. I just simply can't understand why people are spending all this time with all these other apps. It's as if you went from Earth to Jupiter, and when you got to Jupiter, you said, hey, look, there's all these other things that kind of look like Jupiter. Let's check them out. The hell is that? You just got to Jupiter and you're ignoring it. That's how I see this. You only need ChatGPT to change your life. ChatGPT should be adding a 0 to your yearly income. Because it is a certainty that if you had any real process going on in your life, you can now increase the power of it by 10. So if you were making content before, I guarantee you can go 10 times faster. Now, and I'm not saying you output AI content and you put that out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying AI is going to help you a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, save you time planning, save you time this, it all adds up. But what most people are forgetting is that once you get into this stuff, you'll proliferate brand new ideas that you didn't have that will ultimately take you to that 10x mark. Like you'll likely discover a completely new way to work, which could spawn a new business model, a new business itself. That's why on this show, I've been talking about autonomous business creation, because I believe that's where the world's going. What do you think about Meta offering ad-free in Facebook and Instagram? I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about that. Let's take a look if that's true. Because, I mean, isn't that just simply what YouTube has done? Is there any problem with that? Like, should we be concerned about that? Oh, is it a European privacy thing? That actually makes a lot more sense. Okay, interesting. Meta may allow Instagram and Facebook users in Europe to pay to avoid ads. The subscription plan is a response to European Union policies and court rulings to restrict Meta's data collection practices. So, since ads aren't working in Europe anymore, we're just going to monetize by charging you a subscription. I mean, are we really going to subscribe to multiple social media accounts? I just find that really hard to believe. I believe businesses have no problem with it. They're making money, but consumers who aren't making anything cannot afford to subscribe to multiple social media platforms. You can't afford Netflix and everything else. You can't afford Netflix, Twitter, and everything else. It's not possible. The average person I know cannot afford it. I'm 100% certain of it. So I think this is just a sign that Facebook is not really doing that well in Europe and that Europe is giving them all sorts of issues. I find it fascinating why Europe is like this. What's the cause and effect that the EU specifically has so many more regulations, and how is that stifling their growth in general? Because the way I see it, in a perfect world, there's absolutely nothing wrong with targeted advertising. I think it's actually 100% better than untargeted advertising. Imagine a world where you only ever saw ads that were targeted to you and that every other ad was sort of blurred out. Imagine that every augmented ad or viewing system could do that. Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't you only see what you like and want? Wouldn't it be more beautiful? So sometimes regulation really stifles innovation. That's what I'll say. Excuse me. The control pad. What is the control pad? What is the control pad? Well, let me tell you.
You're fired.
That's what the control pad is.
You're fired.
It's called real-time live production at the fingertips of one man. Okay. Let me show you what I was dabbling in. No. First, we have to do something important. We have to do a little bit of training. I think we have to do a little bit of training on GPT. No, I don't feel it's right. I'm going to show you something more advanced. I'll leave the beginner stuff for the noobs. Where do we begin here? Well, sometimes I don't like doing the impromptu trainings because I just have so much information revealed when I do these things. But this should be rather exciting. Okay, just bear with me one moment. I'm just getting set up. All right. So this is going to be a lesson in Notion, Bardeen and Notion's new AI stuff. I think it's pretty cool, and I want to show you how we can use it. Okay, I just started out a new space. Doesn't matter. First, what I'm going to show you is if I create a table, okay, a new database, let's call it blog posts. It could be social posts, could be newsletters, could be email campaigns, like any sort of database of content. The very first thing I really think is cool is, let's say you're writing a blog post, how to create a compost bin. If I add in an AI summary or a custom autofill, I can then tell it to create a meta description for this blog post. Now, this is a very, very simple idea. I'm just going to save the changes. So what it's going to try and do, and I can click update here, is it's going to use a variation of GPT or whatever model they're using, and it's going to take whatever info is in the same row to inform it, right? So how annoying is it to create meta descriptions for your blog posts? Okay, so the first thing I'm showing you here is when you create a table in Notion, the AI is able to give you some pretty useful information based on what you've created. We could also say, like, write a compelling headline for this blog post. Try that one, right? So if you weren't very good at headlines, you could also, do something like this. So then what you could do is we could go to GPT and we could just say something like, come up with 10 blog post ideas for a permaculture blog. Okay, so it's giving a lot of details. I'm going to ask it to stop generating. Just give me titles. So now we can come from here, take this here, put this here, and click update on this. And what I'm showing you now, okay, you get the idea. I can essentially create unique forms of content in new ways, but ideally when we create content still, how much human touch can we add? I think the more the better. But let's face it, writing meta descriptions is not fun, right? Okay, that is step one. I want to show you something else now that's similar to this. So I'm going to go back out. And I'm going to open up Bardeen. We talked about Bardeen a few weeks back. This is a game changer. This is a game changer, 100%. If you're not learning how to use this, you have no idea. You're going to be crushed in the next 10 years. I'm going to crush you. I'll, in fact, be able to crush every one of you here all at once. You'll be going so much slower than anyone who understands what's going on here. Pay attention. When something happens, when I right-click on a website, save blog post, that's what we're going to call it. Okay? So I've instructed Bardeen that my trigger will be when I right click something. When I right click, what I want convert HTML to text. So what I'm saying here is when I right click on the website, take all of the HTML and convert it to text. I've instructed it to say, use the page that I right clicked. So when I right click, the page that we're on, convert that page into text. So I can go around the internet now and right click and I'll just get text. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for a moment because before I go forward, I want to prepare my Notion database because we're gonna work with Notion in this case. Okay, let's call this news database. We'll recall this meta. We'll recall this headline. I'm gonna put this here, this here. We're gonna make a date field. And we're also, do we need anything else? Not at this time. Not at this time. So this is a database. I'm going to go back to Bardeen, watching very carefully now. This is where the magic begins to happen. Going back into Builder. So what I want to do now is I want to add, no, just click on the app if you don't know the names. I believe I want to add Notion page or create Notion page. Let's do create Notion page. And I want to first make sure I'm linking my Notion page. Look, did I say this was always so simple? No. It's asking me about these two databases, which I used before. I don't want to use that. Okay, I'm just gonna find database called news database. Is that right? No, that can't be right. One second, I'm going to make sure I'm logged in properly. I do seem to be. I'm going to be checking my practice example before I show you in our custom table. How did you get that link in database? So annoying. Let's try again. What I want to do is I want to connect to my new database, which I just created called news database. It has to be through a Notion file. Okay, what I'm going to do is type it here. It's not going to find it. Page to update. Nope. Okay. Take a look at my existing one. Get current page as HTML. In new stories. I'm just having a blank around where it is that I tell Bardeen which databases I want to use. And I want to show you this from scratch because that's how you're going to learn the best. So I'm going to delete this for some reason, try a new one, get HTML, get current page as HTML. Okay, try that one. New action, Notion, find Notion database. Jesus Christ, news database. Is this right? No, it's not right. It's not find. You don't need to find. I don't need to find. What I need to do is update. Add. Integrate more apps. No. Oh, we're going to get this. We're going to get this. Actions. Start typing to get suggestions. How to add Notion database to Bardeen. It's like I literally just did this process and now I'm just not seeing the obvious integration. Go to desired database in share. Okay, so you're telling me the problem is that I have not shared this file to Bardeen. Are you sure? I don't think so. No, that's not how it works. Publish. Okay, I'll publish it. Sure, I don't care. Integrations, add connections, Bardeen. That's where it was. Okay, you have to go 3 dots and bring it into Bardeen. I'm sorry. That was horrendous. Forgive me. Yet somehow we've gone up in viewers. I love it. I love it. I'm going to take a drink of yerba mate. I love you guys. You're so patient. Life is good. Life is so good. Oh my God, life is so good. How can life be this good? Where was I? Bardeen in it. Okay, step by step, day by day. Let's start over and show you once again. Click new action. We'll find that database. We'll make it happen second time around. See, there it is, baby. News database. I have connected the database. I have connected the database. Round of drinks for me and my pals. Okay. So now that you can connect a web page through Bardeen to Notion, here's what you can do that's so cool. When I right click, okay, it's going to, and you're like, well, how can you get the headline? I can't. Well, how can you get the main? I can't. I can't get any of this stuff. This actually isn't going to work. What I need to do first is go back. We need to add a few more things to our Notion. Let's add a URL field. Okay, let's get the link of the tool. Okay, let's get the link of the article that we're going to get. That's important. Okay. Coming back to Bardeen. When this all plays out, it's going to be great. Let's try this once again. Okay, we'll lock it in this time. We'll put URL is get URL from the tab. No. Trigger, when I right click the website, get the page URL. I think that's all I can get. right? I can either get all the text and that's it. So let's say I make that done. Let's just say I stop there. Let's say that's it, okay? Watch it in action. Okay, so if here is my database, let's go to like Google. Let's go to like gardening news. Let's say you run a gardening blog. Okay, get niche with it. These things work well when you get niche with it. Okay. Let's go to Planet Natural. I want to read a post when I do this. Okay, let's go to rainwater harvesting. It's probably more of an article, not really like a news source, and that's okay. I'm gonna right click my mouse and there you can see Bardeen, and we're gonna go, what did I call it? Save blog post, right? It was called blog post. I just right click that and did that. Come back to the news database. It's already there. It just inserted the URL from here. Okay. So that's part one. Now that you have a URL, we're going to come back to Bardeen. So now we know it works, right? We now know that if we right click on a website, we can insert that website into Notion. Headline, website title, get current page, date. Okay. So I was able to get the headline. Let me see why I didn't see that. Headline. Okay, so when you use the Bardeen automations, like it's giving me extra features, like wherever I am on that current page with Bardeen essentially running, I can get some other information such as get cleaned URL, get page URL. Where is title? I thought I saw it earlier in my efforts. For date, we could just say now, which would be really good. And that will insert a date into our Notion file, which will give us like a time setting when we did it. I really would like to get the headline of the page. Where is that? How come I can't get that? Convert text. It's probably like based on what I requested earlier, right? Like convert text to convert HTML to text. I do want to see what I did in the other one. Convert current page as HTML. Is that what I said? I don't think I did that. Convert current page as HTML. That could be the problem. Convert HTML to text. Okay, so this should actually be convert current page. Okay. Get current page as HTML. That's going to allow the HTML to be continued to be parsed, which is why the headline would still exist. Those are very subtle. That's very tricky. But it is what it is, you know, like that's just how powerful these things are, but they're very subtle. But I still don't see it. So let me confirm I did it right. Convert, oh no, it didn't even switch, did it? It did, it just didn't change the title. Get current page as HTML. Hope that works. Feels like it's not working though. Let's try it again. Let's try it all again because I had the wrong one there. This will pay off. I know it does. It's not even working right now. No wonder. Okay, try again. Bardeen. So Bardeen comes with their own actions, and then you can integrate all these other apps. get current page as HTML. Okay, so when I right click a page, I want the HTML. From here, I want to go to Notion. I want to create a Notion page inside my database. The date is going to be now. The headline is going to come from the current page, which is the website title. The URL is coming from the current page here, and that is what we wanted. So let's be done with that. Turn this back on. Go to another article. Try this again, okay? I'm going to go to another article. Gonna right click, Bardeen, save blog post. It's working, it's working, it's working. It should be done, right? Here it is. This time, the headline went here. It shouldn't have. It should have gone under the name. So, all that means is I incorrectly associated here. I put this here under headline. I should have put it under name. So go back here, website title. Don't even sit there and think this doesn't apply to you. You may not have a clue what's going on. This will apply to you, okay? Because this is how we're gonna change managing information and how we're gonna integrate AI to make our lives easier. All right. What I'm gonna do from here now what I'll have is I'll essentially have, you know, this over here. Oh, that was wrong. Okay, interesting. Okay, I want to try another article. I want you to see the effectiveness of this. What's up, Joven? Good to see you. Right clicking. If you just got here, everything's going amazing. Okay, it's not showing in Bardeen. This happens all the time. It's because I haven't turned it on, because every time you make a single change, it asks you to turn on the plugin again. Here it is, it's off. Okay, coming back now here. Try again, right click, there it is, save blog post. Just waiting a couple seconds. There it is, here it is up here. So we got the name in the right place, we got the URL, we got the date, right? But these AI boxes cannot do that much. They can only base off of the text here. It can't go to the URL yet. Maybe one day it can, but it can't do that yet. I'm sure one day it can, but assuming you can't, what you would do is create another column here and call it summary. And first it's just gonna be a regular text. We'll call it summary. So now we have a new column. I'm going to put it over here. So what I'm going to do now in Bardeen, because Bardeen can read the website. How? Well, remember we are able to get the current page as HTML. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that HTML convert HTML to text. So when I'm on a website and I right click and I go to view page source, this is HTML. All of this. So much code beyond just the content, right? Not that great. But with this nice plugin, now what I can do is convert the HTML to text, and the page that I'm on will be the page that's getting converted. It's very logical, right? So while I'm on the page, first of all, send the name of the page and the link to Notion, then convert HTML to text, then go to OpenAI and go to get summary of a text, or you could do create customized text. Let's just do get summary. Okay, and so now it's saying, well, what text? And that's where we're going to take what we converted in action 3, that text. It's asking for what level. I don't know what that means. Context for the model. So we could say, you know, who it's for, target demographic. This is where we sort of add custom instructions. There's some style information here, and then you can choose the model. And if you're paying for it, I would get GPT-4 Plus, right? Click done. So what do we just do now is we're going to get an AI corrected summary. Let's put that summary into the Notion page we just created. This is where things are often eye-opening for people, because you're thinking, how do I work with the unit I just created? But when you work in a sort of a process like that moves along like this, it's holding the information for you. So all we have to do is say, you know, get the summary from this and then add it to that. And how do we do that? Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Notion and we're going to say update, not create. We're going to update a Notion page. And it's going to say, well, which Notion page? And first, which database? And now which page? And the page is the page that we created earlier. It's not a new page. It's the one we talked about earlier. So you know which one it is, right? That's what's really cool. And so now we come in and we add the summary that we just created. Here's where we start to get a little bit more exciting. Click done. Okay. Turn it on. Let's now go to a new article. How to grow for San Pedro cactus. We all need that. Thank goodness it's a complete guide. I would hate to have an incomplete guide of growing San Pedro cactus. Right click, Bardeen, save blog post, 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. We got a title. We got a URL. We got a summary. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to access or summarize content from external websites. I made an error. Great. Good to learn. Always making mistakes. What did I do? Okay, I sent GPT something wrong, I think. What did I send it wrong? It shouldn't be. I don't think so. I'm surprised because I sent it the text. But what I'm going to do is, it's okay. I'm going to go back. I'm going to try and do just this custom text generated here. Blog summary. About. I'm going to give it that text. Context for the model for gardeners. Style, easy to read. Output length, 300. Examples, no. Using model. I'm just going to select, well, I do want GPT-4 because I'm using it, and you should see how good it is. Okay, I'm going to re-add the summary here. Try one more time. Don't know what happened. I actually was a bit surprised that that happened. It shouldn't happen. I want to get a fresh article just to not confuse anything about the database. Because if you redid the same article, there's a chance that certain apps are going to say, like, we already did this, so we're not going to redo it. Like Zapier's like that. But I hope you see where we're going. Because once we fill the summary in, now we've empowered the AI that with a single click, we can tell Notion what an article is about and have Notion rewrite the article if that's what we want, or create something completely different. It's very exciting. Okay, look at this. Look at that. In 5 seconds, I got the title, the URL, the summary from OpenAI, which led to a new headline and a new meta description. I'll let that sink in for a second for you. Question from the chat. Why don't you get the text from HTML to one tab inside the database? Because it would be gobbledygook, right? The text would be so mashed together. What usage would that be? This way, we never have to incorporate that. We already get a clean summary. Your method is simply extracting the article. You could just open the article, copy, paste. You'd be better off than telling the AI to do that, right? Because what are you going to do with that text? You need to work with it, and that's why this step is superior. Is this what you would imagine is superior based on your question? I would imagine yes, right? So where do you go from here? Right? Where do you go from here? Well, let's open up this particular item. And with one right click, I essentially created my own new article, right? Let's look at the main article. It says, Phalaenopsis orchids are one of the most popular and widely grown orchids in the world. My article says, Phalaenopsis orchids, also known as moth orchids, that's even a cooler opening line, are an ideal choice for gardeners looking to add a touch of exotic beauty. My article's better. What's going on here? I can outrank this article. I could have told it to make it longer. And now what can I do? So much more, right? Here's what we can do. Like, let's assume this wasn't that good. Oh, and by the way, you need the $15 Notion AI upgrade. You got to be a little baller to access this, but maybe there's an idea here that can easily make you the money back. But I mean, I can already just draft right away. Custom AI block. Here's where it gets fun, okay? Let's just assume this is what we wanted, right? Like, write a blog post in Spanish based on the summary. Okay. If I click generate now, watch that. That's just one idea. Translation, right? Let's say this was all about creating a new language blog. Within days, I could scrape the entire internet and have all the articles I need. Because there's automation now to send this to WordPress, send this to Webflow. I can send any of this to another database once I'm done. But we got to make sure it's high quality first, right? So then what I would do is I would come back to my database and I would go into new templates. And here's where I would build out my IA-based framework, right? So I would have like a bunch of blocks here, right? So the first one would say, write 10 outstanding, engaging headlines for this blog post, okay? And then I would come down here and I would do it again. And I would do another custom block. And I would say, write the most powerful intro paragraph based on the topic, something like this, right? And so now I have a template. Now watch this. Let's go do something else. Let's go to a new website, something different. Let's say Ferraris, okay? Oops, missed an I. Okay, Ferrari news. Okay, you're in a totally different niche now. Same thing applies, right? Scuderia, Ferrari news. How exciting. Yippee-i-yo-ki-yay. Okay, F1. 2 hours ago. Right? So you could be up to date curating all the best news for your client or for your brand, right? Okay, what's going on here? Doesn't matter. I like it. Let's right click it, save the blog post, observe. Wow, that's so fast. Okay, wait for it, wait for it. Wait for that summary. OpenAI working, OpenAI working. Could be an error. It's taking this long, it might be an error. Open Bardeen, see if there's an error. There's no error, just be patient. There it is. Told ya. They don't take a day off, my friends. They don't take a day off. And that's the interesting thing about all this is this would have all taken hours before. Where is my metadata? Where is my AI? It doesn't matter. You can just quickly click these and it will update it for you, right? Because it doesn't automatically update. Sometimes it waits for something to trigger an update. Okay, great. Found my blog post. Into the blog post I go. Down I go. Click on my new template. Quickly get my headlines. Quickly get my intro. Okay. So I could have a complete stack here of all the different things I want, and I would have a 100% original article, right? Did you see how I did that? How I had built that out of those AI things that were waiting for me there. So you go build it in the template, right? And I could even go back to some of these older articles now and do the same thing. If I want to go here, I can open the template here now. It wasn't able to get the summary in this one, so it's not going to work well. But having a template with AI combined with AI automation and generation. So what can we do with this? We could tell any company, hey, do you want to start a newsletter? I can help you put out blog posts, about your latest news, right? Because you can start covering the news with this type of automation because you have the power of an entire news team. All you have to do is scour the latest news in your niche, use AI to manipulate the information enough that it becomes original. And there you are on the front page of Google competing for that keyword while the trend is live. All right. So I told you this was a little bit rocky to start, but I told you it would pay off, right? Now, this is pretty much as far as I've gone with this idea, but like where you can go next, as I was saying, is sending it then to an actual live blog post. Like, wouldn't that be cool if you could right click and then you'd almost like get a full post somewhere else, or maybe you get a tweet or something else, right? So you're on the internet, you like an article, you right click and something goes to your Twitter just to share that article, or something goes to your news posts and you share that news, right? So you can always come into new action and see like, what else could I do? And if you want to see, you click here and these are all the current apps available. Not everything, but certainly a lot. So if I want to go to Twitter, connect my Twitter, Slack, hey, new article. Okay, this isn't so extensive, right? But what if I went over to Zapier? Okay, let me just come out of Zapier for a bit while I get organized here. We're at an hour long here. Great to see you all in the chat. Welcome, Daniel P. Good to see you. Okay, so now what I could do is I could go to my database and we could just be done with Bardeen here. And I could put some sort of a tag. So let's create a status. It's going to be a single status selector. And the options will be new post, send to blog. Something like that, right? So the default should always be new post. But if I go to send to blog, I would essentially be updating this Notion. So let's see if I can use that as a trigger. Okay, so the trigger is going to be Notion. Let's see if I can figure this out. This is fun, my friends. This is really, really fun stuff, okay? So look, updated database item. I think that's what we're gonna be looking for. When an item in a selected database is updated. Now, before that, I make sure I'm gonna come over here to my 3 dots and I'm gonna add a Zapier connection. Okay, come back here, update database item, continue, choose an account, Notion, continue, database. Let's just try and search it. What's it called? News. There it is, news database right there. Continue. So it's going to be looking for updates, test trigger. Okay, so for whatever reason, it picked up this one as the most updated. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this going to trigger every time you put something in? And the answer is probably yes. And that's where I would use a filter by Zapier. So my second step is going to be a filter, and it's going to say only continue if tags is sent to blog. Okay, so we're going to look for tags because that's one of the columns. Contains send to blog. And I might even just reduce it to blog. Okay, nice work. Let's find out if it works. It said it would not have continued. That's probably okay. Let's go back and give that one the tag of send to blog. Now I'm going to come over and retest it one more time. Sometimes it's not going to work a lot of the times. You'd have to totally refresh the app. So I'm actually going to come back here and try one more time. Retest. Yeah, it doesn't have the data right now. I have to go back, I think. And yeah, it's okay. It's going to work. Okay, last step. Well, first of all, I go to WordPress, right? If I wanted to go to WordPress and I could create a post. Okay, I don't have a WordPress right now, which is annoying that I can't really test this, but I could alternatively probably go to Webflow. And I don't think I really need to explain this any further. What this is that now create an item. Okay, so I'd be creating an item in my blog post collection. Let's just kind of go through here. We'll just pick rich and niche site. And we'll see. You'll see when I select my blog post right here, you're going to see all the fields, right? Because these are the standard fields, right? So look at this. Meta, where's Meta coming from? It's coming from Notion. There it is right there. Meta, right? The AI wrote the meta. Okay? Post summary, we already have a summary. Let's just use the summary we have. Great. Category, whatever, image. Okay, we don't have that. But the point is, now you can see that I would be able to create a blog post. So first I can curate all the ideas I like. Then from there, I can use the status selector to trigger, okay, this one's going to my blog. Okay. Post body. I wonder if we can use what's actually inside the text, inside the page, right? Is it object page? Maybe not. I forget how to do that. I'm wondering if we can only use the column-based data, or can you use the internal Notion page? I can't remember. Doesn't really matter. I think I've already shown you so much that with Bardeen, Notion, Zapier, with a single one click, it's 2 clicks to get a blog post out completely original. That is worth a fucking lap. You're the king. The king.
What's the ROI of your mother?
I told you it'd pay off. I really wish I was a little cleaner earlier on today. This was potentially a powerhouse show. This was potentially a powerhouse show, and I effed it up too many times. But I think I got my point across, guys. What I'm showing you is the absolute cutting edge of prosumer technology. This is no code at its finest. Put a shitload of ones in the chat if you're feeling excited about what I'm showing you, and you know that one day you're going to be able to utilize this and save thousands of hours of time for you and your clients. Put a shitload of ones in the chat if that's how you feel. Put a 0 if you're just like, I am not interested in this. This is so dumb. I have no need for this. Be honest. I'll take it. And the very next question to ask is, what else can we do? What else can we do? And how much closer have we gotten to autonomous business? What if the next step is not right-clicking a website? What if it's setting up an advanced filter for the keywords you want against Google News and any other aggregator, not Forbes, not these sort of subscription sites? And what if Notion was filling itself every day? And then you just go in and have to click send to blog, send to blog, send to blog. Is that not an autonomous business creation? Could you not be putting out 5 to 10 articles a day on your news site like this? I mean, please, get it together. There is a man on the internet spending hours a week explaining to you things that can make you far more rich than you are today. Listen, apply it, and go help people. All you have to say now is, look, I am a digital marketing expert. I am on the cutting edge of digital marketing and anything digital business. I'd like to help your business, and all I need is to sit down with you for 30 to 60 minutes to go through some of the different elements you have. Oh, you have a blog? Oh, you want to do a newsletter? Can I show you something? I mean, that's just this one idea. Newsletters are all the rage right now. Newsletters will always be this fine balance against social media. You get the 100% delivery rate. You get the control, but you got to be good. And I mean, this is only an idea. Maybe you don't go full automation though. Right? Maybe you can find the human touch to make this great. You know, the next thing is like, hey, don't even put those as blog posts. You know what I could do? Let me show you. Let's say I just did some research right now. Let's say my job is to do research and write long form content for whatever reason. What I can do is I can export everything here as a CSV file. Okay, so that's going to take me about 10 seconds. There it is. It came in as a zip file, so I'm going to go ahead and click and open it. I'm going to extract it. There I have my CSV files now. I'm going to go to ChatGPT and I'm going to use the code interpreter, which requires you to have the plus. It's now called Advanced Data Analysis. I'm going to give it my CSV file. Where'd it go? Shoot. Where's the folders here? Come on, come on, come on. Okay. You know, and I don't know what to do this, but can you outline the entire data set in bullets? Okay, so just start with handling the data. So first you right-clicked on 6 websites, you brought them into a spreadsheet, You're not making them into blog posts. You're going to make one super post, one huge ultimate article, but you're going to ask GPT to sort of help you get started. Again, this is sort of adding this layer of human advisement to create something a little bit more unique than what you took from the browse data. I think there's some ethical concerns that rise for people right away. You know, you're like, oh, I'm just taking it from the internet. Well, the AI actually already did it for you. And the AI is already trained on everything on the internet, essentially, and it will only get more and more and more. So I'm not sure that's a real ethical concern. So what's going on here is... it misunderstood me. It thought I wanted to outline sort of the columns. So now I'm showing you that, okay, you could use the Bardeen automation for just quick research, then compile all of that into something much bigger. Because you're probably saying, you know, Rich, I don't really think automated posts are going to cut it in 2024. And I don't disagree. However, is 10 automated posts going to cut it? What about 100 automated posts? Will that cut it? I don't think you have a full-on complete argument. I agree. If you're posting 3 times a week, yeah, an automated post isn't going to cut it. But if you're posting 25 plus articles a day, all uniquely spun from the happenings or top articles of the internet, you know, I do think there's something there. Okay, so we could have shifted this a little different. We could have come up with different AI columns, but ultimately we could say, like, write one long essay on all of the info included. And of course, I'm not giving any contextual. I'm just sharing you sort of the process of, okay, internet to Notion database, Notion database to CSV file, CSV file to ChatGPT, ChatGPT to final output. Maybe this would cut it. Maybe this would cut it. So you go from CSV to GPT and you go for the big essay, right? You want to write the essay first. If you're going to do any AI generated content, you want to do the absolute longest content first. Do you know why that is? It's because you're giving ChatGPT a chance to read its own writing, and therefore it's actually learning as it's going, right? So we can stop it right there and say, now write 5 tweets to promote this essay on Medium. So now that you've worked with the bigger content, moving down into the smaller content that promotes it. So we have research, we have CSV file, we have essay, and then we have promotional tag along content. So, you know, within minutes, I've arrived at a completely original article with promotional elements. Of course, this is all created by AI, right? You may want to modify it. Just published, dive into our latest essay on Medium that traverses topics from workplace dynamics to the nuances of gardening. A treat for the curious mind. Sounds a little bit, you know, AI. Make these sound like they are written by humans, and also add in one small grammatical or spelling error in each. That's becoming a bit of a common strategy. Signaling mistakes, just trying to throw people off, getting them to read more, you know, time on page, whatever it is. Hey folks, just threw up an essay on Medium about, well, a bit of everything. Workplace vibes, plants, and even some F1 stuff. I actually think that's pretty good. I would take out the emojis. I don't think they're needed here, but I actually think that's pretty solid tweet. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. What is your insight of the day? Which of the elements I talked about today will you be taking with you? Which components could you imagine implementing into your own workflows? Think that's going to be it for me today. Hope you all had a great show. Give me your feedback on the weekly updates, as well as the demonstration of the most cutting edge digital marketing tools, techniques, business strategies. I guess we're playing you guys out. Have a good one, everyone. Thanks so much. My journey started with a desire for freedom, where I could set my own schedule, where I could define my own rules. I wanted to travel without permission, to be available for my family when they need me, and to build a healthy, sustainable, remote-capable lifestyle. My path led me to full-stack digital marketing. I believe a comprehensive understanding of digital marketing as a communications tool is the #1 unlock to life right now. Being a freelancer is not an easy path to take. There's always going to be risks. But the harsh truth is that all profit is derived from risk. So I recommend you start taking a risk or two if you desire a life beyond the mediocre. Risk will bring immense change to your life, and the downsides are rarely as bad as you think. Learning how to take more risk is a key element of the modern business owner instead of constantly avoiding risk. There's just no way around this. Everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. Use fear as a guide. It will always show you where the resistance is in your life, and oftentimes that is a gateway to a greater life. There is an endless need from businesses for the development of digital user experiences and digital media right now. The freelance digital marketer is in high demand. Please strike while the iron is hot. My name is Rich UX. I'm the founder of Rich and Niche. My mission is to bring freedom to people's lives via digital marketing. Most of my secrets are given away for free on YouTube. Just search Rich and Niche. Say hello on any social media platform at Rich and Niche. I wish you well. May the algorithms be ever in your favor.